And see again, this is kind of like the point that I think people miss because they want to turn it into this male versus female, like a gender war. And
Yeah.
it's not that at all in the joint. You had these beautiful women. They want to act like the women was, they said you got all these manly women and these
They were
butch women and this, that.
they were beautiful. They were
You know what I
beautiful.
mean?
But I'm not. Tariq Nasheed got us fucked up. He was there.
Yes.
He was reaching because he did say he did say it was a nigga walking around with a thong in the first 5 minutes. That wasn't true. He straight up lied and said that. It wasn't just a nigga at the beginning though. You know what I'm saying? So, um, what do you think? What do you think about that? As far as you got a lot of people in African community, not African community, we all African community, but like, what would you say? African enthusiasts or historical enthusiasts? Basically, that character who was that the male character who kind of wasn't really male character. Is
Okay.
that African?
The eunuch,
That's correct.
right? He was a
Yeah,
eunuch.
yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, so give me yeah.
yes, yeah.
We're
So
like the Africans don't. We don't play that. We don't. Africans don't play that. They had that nigga walk around with his elbows behind his back. Ain't
how
gonna walk around crazy.
I mean, again, he's a eunuch. So, folks say, okay, African, in Africa, we didn't play that, this, that, and third. How did he become a eunuch? Why was he a eunuch? Who were eunuchs historically, right?
No, I was
How?
like, okay, go ahead. I thought
No, no, go
how
ahead.
like he did something bad and they chop him. Or he
Well, no,
just
no, 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 no. I'm not saying that he did something bad, but there's certain things that, okay, you know,
I mean,
if something wasn't tolerated, right, within the culture,
oh, okay,
okay,
okay.
you
I see where
know,
you going.
in
I see
order
where you.
to stop you from,
Oh,
engaging
oh.
in certain things,
So
certain
he
things might happen, you know,
damn.
but,
That's a good
you
point. I
know,
gotta give you another point. I'm gonna give you another
yeah,
point for that one. I'm gonna give you another
yeah,
point.
there's a
So
sacrifice that is made, right? And then
yeah,
you
yeah.
saw he wasn't castigated, and this is something that existed in certain cultures. You can look to
Mm.
certain cultures. Matter of fact, the brother Maladoma Some, right, who wrote a couple of books, about his people in Burkina Faso, you know, um, and I think he goes into the Bambara tradition a little bit as well. But he talks about how people that may have been considered homosexual or whatever in Western culture, in their culture they were gatekeepers, right?
Mm.
And this essentially is what this guy was in this character, in this character in this film. He was like the overseer over the place of women, over the king's wives, and an advisor to him, right? So this is something that existed historically, and number one, so that he could fill that position, and you ain't got to worry about him messing with none of the women, right? And that he also may not engage in certain behaviors that were culturally taboo, right? The sacrifice was made
Yeah,
of certain parts, and that's why he's a
I,
eunuch.
I give you that, and that's a good, because like, say if he did, because my what I was thinking before was, eunuchs were like say like they got captured. It's like you stole something, cut your arm off, or if you did something, whatever, whatever. So if I was like, if he did something bad and he got that chop for whatever, why would he act extra saucy after that? Unless he was that before that.
Yeah.
So with saying, I didn't look at it like that when I seen that. I thought that kind of made him like that. But I was like, so you by you breaking that down, saying he was, and I was like, oh, because there's another what TV show they have a eunuch? Is it Game of Thrones? The fat chubby dude.
Mm.
I think it's Game of Thrones. Like the first
Okay.
season, I think they have that, and I'm not sure if the dude is kind of sassy or whatever, but I guess that's a slick way of almost proving that, making that point without being like bashed for it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
like if you just break it down and say it bluntly, I can see that being a whole anti thing, kind of, But
Yeah.
the way
Yeah.
that was kind of slick. That was some Jamaican slick. Like
Yeah.
Jamaicans get away with the homophobia because that's the beat in the. You be singing along and you be like, what I just say? You be like, burn the nigga. You like, oh
Yeah.
god damn. You be like, what the fuck? Like, what did I just say? Like,
Yeah.
reggae
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
You be like, they be saying some shit you don't even be understanding, but they get away with a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, it's definitely something that existed in certain cultures on the continent historically, and even outside of the continent. Like when you read, for folk that are into the Bible, right? People that are into that, read the Bible, and when it references eunuchs, right? This is who they're talking about. These are the people that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like there's references.